Okay, so now we're going to look at the June solstice. Here in the Northern Hemisphere, we call it the summer solstice because it's June 21st, first day of summer. However, June 21st in the Southern Hemisphere happens to be the first day of winter. So realistically, we should call it just the June solstice to be fair to everybody on the globe. Now, I just want you to take a look at this. The Earth, remember, always is rotating on its axis, and the Earth is always tilted 23.5 degrees towards the north, and that's the north. Now, with the position of the Earth going around the sun, you can see in this position, the axis is leaning towards the sun, which makes the Northern Hemisphere, it has more exposure, longer period of time of exposure to the sun, and since it's leaning towards it, it has more direct sunlight. And since there's more direct sunlight, it heats up more and faster. And since we said the days are longer, it has longer time to heat up. So this is why it becomes summertime in the Northern Hemisphere. And at the same time, the Southern Hemisphere is leaning away from it, and therefore it's going to cool down. Shorter days, less direct sunlight. And you can see with this. Okay, so as you can tell too, when we're looking at this, like we said, 24 hours of daylight for several weeks north of the Arctic Circle, opposite below the Antarctic Circle, 0 hours of daylight, several weeks of no daylight, and then once again at the equator, 12 hours of daylight like it is 365 days a year. Now let's just show you on the model. So like we said, the Northern Hemisphere is pointing towards the sun and its rotation. And this right here, there's a dotted line here, and this is called the Arctic Circle. This is the Arctic Circle here. And as you can tell, the reason there's 24 hours of daylight is because the Earth is tilted this way. This area here is always in sunlight, all right? So this is why on this June 21st and for several weeks thereafter that we have, I should be spinning it this way. That's the way it goes, actually counterclockwise, my bad. 24 hours of daylight because it's always exposed to the sun. All right, that's good.